one person uploading for 6 people. Okay? So you all can collaborate and say, you all give the notes for this part, and you do this part, and you do this part, and then I did 3 slides for this point. That's better. Yes. That's collaborative. Now, you take such good notes, can you just turn them in for all of us, you know? I said all of you. I said a bunch of you, okay? All right, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna start with this Write for Texas. There's a big push for this, and I think that this is developing. They've been doing like overviews and just little pieces of information, but it's developing into a lot more. So listen to this overview, it's gonna be about 10 minutes. Norma? Oh, I forgot something. You know, I just want to talk to you because you're here, right? But we have 2 new people in the room. They got approved this week, and oh my God, they already got placed. That's the quickest turnaround because really they were supposed to have been approved since the last board meeting. And there's one more coming for Lopez. Where's Lopez Cluster, right? There's one more coming, but she's not here today, I don't think, right? The Lopez person? Coming from Lopez to Garcia's not here yet, right?
Monday.
Monday she starts. Okay. Yes, yes. But we have a couple of new ones that just got approved. One that got approved before, I don't know if we had introduced her the last time, right? But 2 for sure that just got approved, so I want them to say their name really quickly.
Hi, my name is Astrid Laporte, and I'm at K6.
Okay, and she's coming from?
Canales Elementary.
So, also support, right? It's voting her? And they're coming into the same class. I mean, there's a line here, and look, they're sitting together.
My name is Tara Vergara. I'm Martin Elementary, and I was at Morningside Elementary. 4th grade teacher.
And we already asked her, no, she's not related to Sophia. And we had one that already had started. Where is she? There she is. Over there. She had started some time back. Yes. And she is at, no, the person.
Hi, my name is Nelda Martinez. I'm at Skinner Elementary, and I was coming from Manhattan. I was a 3rd grade teacher.
Well, she's been there already, you know, she's been swamped and bombarded by the Porter cluster, you know, everybody, and Pat and all of that. And so, please, if you have any tips, they'll be added to the batch, and they'll be in our project share, and just be supporting them and assisting them. They've missed already like 2.5 years, right? But they're catching up quickly because everybody's really supporting them, right? All right, so Norma, go ahead.
This mic works, doesn't work. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna tell you that we really enjoyed going to this training. Unfortunately, it was just a 1-day shot. And this 1-day shot was basically to kind of get us introduced to, as Ms. Gonzalez has said, the big push towards Write for Texas. And what this is that, so what this is that it's several regions kind of getting together and looking at what some of the best practices are, and what they've done is an absolute wonderful situation of putting all these things in modules and available for teachers to use online. All these wonderful resources. Even though they target the secondary from 6th grade on up, I can see how this can be very beneficial for the elementary teachers to look at, especially those 4th and 5th grade, because there's some really good things that you can kind of extract from there. And the other thing too is looking at the alignment of the secondary grades. You know, what crosses over from elementary to middle school, what crosses over from middle school to high school. So all in all, we went over some how writing and certain ways of teaching writing to English language learners is beneficial, and that was our most part of the morning. And so what we weaned off of that was that they used a lot of the things that TLI already has incorporated. The modeling, the activities, the hands-on. and the opportunities for students to really have that engagement of conversations. So looking at that, what we did is that we provided you with one of these, which is just the overview section of a little booklet that we received. And this the overview puts it in a nutshell for you as to what you can find on the online courses. And so that day, there was not sufficient time to really get into the online courses. So I requested for them to send the website. And that's what I'm going to expose you to the rest of these minutes. But looking at your little packet here, it tells you what the Right for Texas is and who does it target. Of course, it targets the students because we need for them to have those opportunities to be able to read, write, and the last verb there is discuss. So a lot of the focus in what you're going to be exposed to, or what they put on here were those best practices. And of course, in the second one it says who benefits from using Right for Texas? Absolutely every kid. I think every kid does on these. And how can the resources be used? It basically depends on the necessity and of course on how the professional development is going to come across and those kind of things. But those things will also be probably targeted later on in the institutes. And then do the resources need to be completed in one session? That's something that it answers that for you, but for the most part, they are kind of a little bit of a standalone. And for these, it's something that you will be probably finding more information about, because from what I understand, they will have little sessions or some sessions at the Institute regarding the Right for Texas. Like I said, this is not all in detail.
This is not open to everybody. In fact, they're limiting the districts as to how many people they can send. And we're getting this heads up already and access through them to these websites. This is going to be a big focus of the Summer Institute. Okay, so it's kind of like giving you coming attractions. And the links, I started going into them, has a lot of information on writing. Lots, especially for our English language learners, but kids that can't write are struggling regardless if they have that label or not.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly just take you, this is the website, and this is what it's going to be looking like. It'll say Right for Texas. Then you have your sections up here that really are the best ones to kind of take a look at. When you hit home, you're going to see this first page, and which will give you some of the information here about supporting the academic writing. And that's throughout, and so we'll give you an overview. This overview page will be right here in this one, so you can see everything's online. And it's super friendly to go through, okay? So this is where this came from. And of course, it tells you everything that you need to look into. And these are the guiding principles of effective writing instruction. And so they focus every one of the activities, every one of the multitudes of online resources on there, target these 4 effective principles of writing instruction. Okay. So because of the time element, I'll just go over it real quickly with you. And so then the rest of this here, it says it has all the big ideas like we normally look at. It really concentrates on the fact about reading and writing as a reciprocal unit. That when you write, it transfers over into the writing. The writing should also enforce and support the reading. And so a lot of the explicit teaching, and so you can see that. And here it says practice daily. So these resources, you can see that eventually, you can extract from them because any of the activities in there are activities that you can apply daily. A lot of the modeling, as I had said before, these has, of course, all the best practices that TLI supports. And then it has resources. What's cool about this is that you have this little chart here. And this chart is sectioned to where, and I'll show it in a larger scale in a minute. So you can see this is TALA 1. So a lot of the resources, those of you who've attended TALA, they come from there. And then the teaching expository and persuasive text, that's something that's really at the high school, teachers are saying, I need help, I need support. I'm specifically working with Mary Ann on this piece, and so this is really good. I just kind of looked into it, and it's great material. And this one is using reading
Especially
and
for
writing.
your new teachers. They
Yes,
don't have any of this foundation. That little circle links you to, or she's gonna show you, to the modules for each of those pieces.
yes. And this one here, they're using reading and writing to support learning. This one targets all kids, okay? It targets your tier 2 kids, your tier 3 kids, your regular kids. I mean, some of the material, I definitely think that even targets some of your higher level kids, because the quality of what's there is really awesome. And of course, you know, the section here, they have it a little bit different for the ELA and reading teachers, as you can see right here. And so they have these three, which are representative of these sections right here, okay? These right here, whether it's teaching and revising and editing, or teaching personal narrative. So these things here are broken down, and those are those acronyms that are right here on this one. And then on the other side, here it says all teachers, so they even have for content area teachers. I'm gonna show you in a minute. See, this blue section here is reading. This entire section is writing. Because the students progress into the upper grades, into the secondary grades, they have to transfer their knowledge into writing and express themselves and communicate. And there's so many different type of writing genres that they might need to address, okay? So what we call this is called a resource alignment. And so it's color-coded, and then this targets just the pie, okay? Let me move on to that pie in itself so that I can show you. But these are the resource contents that it has. They always provide you with some background information, and they're pretty thick, okay? So it's not like, oh, I need to find something and I'm just gonna go and just glance and then pull something out. No, I really recommend that, you know, anything that's gonna be used, you analyze, you look at it and see what's gonna be giving the students the best, you know, for what you're gonna, it's the delivery, but also in the delivery needs to have the planning beforehand. And so the planning is important for you to select the proper type of materials. They have a lot of examples and models, and on those models, they actually have some videos, okay, of some of those great activities going on. And the activities, and then of course, this is key reflection opportunities. You think the reflection opportunities are only for teachers? No. In the writing and in the reading, the reflection opportunities are also for the students, okay? So I have mentioned about the videos here. Then you've got some example activities on there, okay? So let me kind of, okay, here we go. Sorry. So it takes you through this process. There's a practice, modeling, selecting, watching videos, reading information, different type of articles, reviewing, authentic writing purposes. They do provide you with some authentic texts, texts, okay? I know my Spanish tongue. Anyways, and then they provide you with some actually authentic writing pieces that you'd be surprised, but you'll find even some of those in your literature books and in some of the selections that you all have already used. And so when I was looking through this material, I said, oh, I'm familiar with that one. And then I saw that there were some things that, you know, I've seen people teach or teachers teach and a certain way. Wow, I think this would be really good to plug in there because it provides opportunities for kids to really have that discussion piece because they've got rubrics and all kinds of things going on in there. And so this is the key thing. A lot of the times we don't allow students to reflect on what they're doing, and teachers don't reflect on their teaching practices. And I think that this is key because when you reflect, you're able to see yourself through a lens that will depict your best and strongest areas, but also what's lacking. And it'll help you improve ahead of time for those students who don't have the same level of knowledge that other students have. And that's key in the reflection piece. And not only that, so they record their thoughts, This one for the teacher in a teaching journal. And this was one piece that I thought was something new and something to really highlight. Okay. And of course, we already mentioned, how can Right for Texas help you? Well, it depends, and then it tells you that it's good for the coaches, it's good for the content area teachers, especially for all the secondary teachers, but also for administrators, because administrators also need to become knowledgeable of what the expectations are on those assessment pieces, not just the fact that they have to get to that particular level. So, these are the practices. Let me go ahead and take you real quickly, since there's a limited amount of time, to the chart. Okay, so I've gone back to the home section. These are the guiding principles. I'm not going to go on that one. I'm going to walk you to the online materials, which is this third tab right here. Okay? Okay, when you get to the online materials, this is the one that's going to come out. First, it's the professional development to support academic writing resources. And this is professional development, okay? That means that they're training modules.
So this is going to be like a writing academy kind of at the Summer Institute?
Well, that I cannot tell you for sure, but I know I'm signed up at one of the writing sessions. And one of the writing sessions that I'm signed up is for secondary. But Darcy had informed me that they will be having different type of writing pieces because they have different writers. Now, this that we were exposed to is probably some of the things that they're going to also utilize on the day of the Institute. And I'm definitely, more than likely, this is an online resource, okay? But it is also professional development for coaches, teachers, administrators, and so forth.
And so the campuses will all have access to all that, all of us?
It's available right now.
This is available right now, yes. But as far as the training, because there's so much involved, I'm sure that the recommendation is that teachers get training on it, okay? In which you all will benefit because they have those sessions that will be available for the Summer Institute. So that's a good question, Mary Ann. Okay, going back to this, and I put 1 minute.
Where's the website?
It's right here in the first page. You'll say rightfortexas.org. Yeah. Okay, so that says I'm running out of time, but it's on this. And okay, good question. This is the part I'm going to show you. Let me clarify. This is a regular website, but they provide you further information. You send in your email address and that. I'm sure that they will give you further information about training and things like that. Like I had said, we went there for 1 day, okay? And this was exposure to this. And half of our training didn't focus on this. They provided us with this, but then we went in and looked at all the information because, like I said, this is this heads up. This is what is going to be coming around for future professional development. Yeah.
I want to clarify, okay, they gave them some of this information, it's a great resource. I went in, started clicking, exploring, and I saw, oh my God, it's a lot of training modules in there. A lot, I mean, this is something that would be like a year-long thing, especially for new teachers that don't have that knowledge. And some of us that need to brush up on some of our knowledge or that need interventions to provide. This is a great resource, okay? This right here is really where you can access a lot of these.
The resources.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is your chart here, right? And so if you're an ELA teacher, here's this section. It'll kind of help you select. But you're going to move over to this part right here. This one gives you the overall, but here are the different sessions and modules. This one is using reading and writing to support learning. This one is teaching expository and persuasive text. This is all teachers, if you notice, right? And then the focus for just ELAR, or English Language and Reading teachers, is this one, teaching personal narrative text, revising knitting, and then sentence skills. Let me click on any one of these so that you can see.
Find our seats, everybody. Okay, let's look at your agenda. Look at the agenda. As we were coming in, I'm sure Oneida was having you just confirm one more time, who is that person along with yourselves that are going to the Institute? Okay, make sure that you confirm that. And yes, I know that some of you have sent me emails, oh, I can't make it for this reason, I can't make it for that reason. This is an expectation of this job. And it was very clearly defined when you applied that it was an expectation of the job. You can send me the email. You and I will need to discuss it when we do your evaluation. Because I'm just going to say it, it's an expectation of this job, and it was clearly delineated when you apply for this job. It's an expectation that's going to drive you for the next year. You know, the focus is going to be on writing at this institute and so forth and so on. So yes, you can send me the emails. I'll keep them on file, and we'll need to discuss it. Okay. Now, traveling, if you have a 504 in place, I mean, some emergency, things happen, we understand that. And if that happens, that will be noted, of course. I mean, I could get sick. I remember my very first institute, I had just had gallbladder surgery, and there I was 6 weeks into that new job, and there I was at the institute. Things happen, I could have not made it if the doctor had not released me like a couple of days before. So we understand things happen, but some of the explanations, we're going to have to discuss them, okay? So, the Institute, make sure you confirm with Oneida who's going, you and the other person. We're doing really good. I really thought we were going to have a real big issue with people not going, so I really appreciate all of you who have hustled and convinced, you know, coerced somebody to go with you. And those people that are going, make sure very clear expectation. They're going to have to turn it around in August when they come back. You know, they're going to have to present to their faculty. Yes, they're going to get a stipend for the days of the conference. We're trying to get an agenda to decide if it's going to be a 3-day stipend, staff development, or if it's going to be a 2.5-day stipend, like that, along with yourselves, because it's right after your contract, right? So all of that is being looked at. As soon as we get an agenda, the thing we're all waiting for is the hotel. You know, what hotel? Because we want to get in there. We want to get into the hotel that's at the conference, like always. Because I think we're one of the biggest groups. So looking at your agenda, I also want to tell you that, wow, you all really came through for the Dr. Seuss birthday bash. Yay! I mean, wow. We were like, they gave us a little corner and we were almost taking over the whole section there, you know. I didn't want to say that, but yes. But I really appreciate those of you that went, signed in. A few of you forgot to sign out, so Sonia's going to have that sign in over there. You need to sign out always at every event. I don't need to remind you. Sign out, okay? Because then if we look for you and you're not there, who's going to confirm for you what time you left, okay? So we need to have you sign out to the Dr. Seuss event, because we are going to send that that sign-in sheet to your principals, because this is excellent, and I want to thank Mary Ann. I don't know where she's at. Ah, there you are. House Bill 5, right? Community engagement. The campuses are collecting that little binder, because then, who is it? That collects it. Ronnie Renfro ultimately here. At some of your campuses, the librarian, different contact people, but ultimately, Ronnie Renfro here collects those binders, and they give the campus a rating of yes, there's community involvement, or no, community engagement. So this was an excellent, you were very engaged, I saw many of you, very engaged in costumes and with the kids and reading on the floor, and it was cold and rainy and damp, and so even better, right? I mean, really, you took one for the team there, and we were very visible. Very, very good, very good. Excellent. Where's Oneida? I know she got you all motivated and communicated with the literacy line leaders and has put out thank you notes and sent you all any, I mean, but I think she also did a great job in putting this together. So let's give her a hand. So, good job on that. House Bill 5, don't forget. We even put the little flyer in your packet. Oneida put together the little flyer, the newspaper article, some pictures. I hope you're in the picture somewhere so you can put one of the little arrows. I was here, you know. Or if you have some, make another page and put some pictures there, and then hand that over to your principal or whoever's collecting that information, along with the sign-in that they're gonna get, and you have evidence there for House Bill 5. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick overview of Right for Texas, Right for Texas. They've been having sessions, and we're so lucky that, I know there's some people from curriculum that have been going, but our DLLs also have slots, and so in a minute, Norma's gonna give you an update. Anna's absent today, but Anna and Norma went, so she's gonna give you a few highlights of this great resource, okay? Right for Texas. And then STAR countdown activities. We're gonna be brainstorming. There's some sheets of paper in the back. I know Melissa's gonna put them up. We're going to be brainstorming today. A couple of getting up and going and writing, okay? STAR countdown activities. Like as of I think yesterday, was it 10 days, Melissa? Yes. 10 days to the first one, right? Which is writing and fourth and so forth, or reading and 10 days, guys. It's got a big one, okay? And then after that, 20 days to the next round of everybody else almost, right? And then 25 days to who? Some of the retesting, some of the high school level, okay? All right, so write those numbers somewhere. 10, 20, 25. So when you say your prayers at night, 10 more days, you know what, over our district. 10, 20, 25. I told Melissa, we're gonna do a little countdown outside, so I don't know if you've seen that bulletin board that I don't remember what the cluster put up that rocket with to proficiency and beyond. Who did it? Rivera. So we've been good job. So we've been kind of layering stuff on top of it, and then we still leave it up because it has all of the assessments, and we've been updating some of the assessments that are on there. Because we know that bilingual is no longer Aprenda and Stanford, it's Supera and Terra Nova. And then for high school, I was calling my expert over there, Sonia. I said, is it TSAT or is it TSI and the accountability? Look at your taper. And she goes, oh, no pressure. She was looking for her too. And sure enough, it's TSI and accountability. It's not the TSAT. The SAT, yes, and we also added the ACT. So high schools, be very aware of those assessments. High schools, okay? Be aware of your assessments. We have them all up there, and we're going to be putting some information, some status of, where we are at in those assessments. So STAR countdown activities. So right now for you, STAR countdown, be thinking, what are some activities that you're doing at your campus to focus them on this? I know they're stressed about it, right? But do they really know how many days there are left till? Maybe yes, maybe not. I know some people are really going to take advantage of spring break to kind of relax a little, right? But coming right back, it's 10 days, I mean, to the assessment. The big focus of today's meeting is gonna be that MOI. So you got your results, your final for the MOI, okay? Everybody, let me have your attention, I know you're a little excited. So the MOI. We're giving you in your packet the district MOI results, and Melissa's gonna walk you through them. And then we're gonna ask you to compare your campus to the district, to your cluster. We have that report available already for TPRI that has legacy Pels, but we don't have it, we checked in Tango for third and up. So we're gonna walk you through, Melissa came up with a little template, and she'll walk you through that, so that you're able to do that. But it's all about the RTI. What are you gonna do with this information, okay? The RTI connection, so we're quickly gonna look at your MOI data binders here, when we get to that item, because we're still seeing a lot of differences. And so we wanna kind of standardize it. The boy and the MOI should be kind of in the same area, I'm gonna say, because by now some of you have two binders. By the time we get to the OI for that May meeting, you're just gonna take the OI to that May meeting. You're not gonna take boy and MOI. These two are supposed to be leading you to that end of year meeting, okay? But if you learn to do it correctly for the boy, and now you're tweaking it for the MOI, the OI binder is gonna be really simple, okay? So, we're gonna look at your binders. The next one, campus plan for interventions based on the SEs. That is our focus, everybody. I know at your campus you might be doing an item analysis. That's more for instruction, right? When you get to the teacher item, how was it asked? How would you solve it, right? But SEs are where we're at, district-wide, the SEs. And again, so Melissa printed for each grade level the SEs. We tried to do the top 10 SEs, but as we look at them, the same ones keep popping up. And I need to tell you all, we thought we had addressed some of them, especially secondaries. We had addressed them with, these trainings that we did. Secondaries, it gives you the tools in here to address those. And even further than that, there was a whole conference that you went to about explicit instruction, RTI. I was talking to one of you, I won't say his name. There was a I won't say his name, but we were talking about the fact that that book really took it to heart. That book, if I had to open a campus or a school, I would follow that book. It has all the levels in there. It has everything that needs to be set up in the classrooms. Okay, the focus, it's all in there. Okay, it can guide you in working with your teachers. And I'm going to say this to you all. Some of you might have different levels of content knowledge. You may have come from elementary and now you're in secondary. Maybe you were in secondary and now you're in elementary. That book really gives you a good foundation on how to communicate with the different levels. Okay? It can really guide you as you work through the content areas. Because ELA, we can kind of wing it because we're all strong in that field. All of us, we're strong in language. But the other content areas, you gotta do your homework. So that book, those resources, okay, can help. So RTI menus, we're gonna be brainstorming tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I sent you some elementary, I'm giving you the updated one. It's in your packet for elementary, the menu, we're gonna look at that. And we're going to add any other things that you can think of to add as interventions. The next one, TSLP schedule, reporting and accountability module. It finishes. And today, you should have uploaded your lesson. Because, I mean, if some of you are in the Bahamas or on a cruise, Sunday, I don't think you're gonna be there uploading your lesson. So today, as the meeting's going on, I had told Oneida to be checking, she's gonna check the tracker to see who has and hasn't uploaded yet. If you have not, you're not leaving the meeting until you upload your responses. Okay, we're not gonna take the test. So, you're been warned, okay, you have it ready. So when you come back on the 16th, lesson 3 begins. So lesson 3 begins, I think it's the last lesson for reporting and accountability. And it's gonna be 2 weeks of that, almost 200 plus, okay? Goes all the way to 329, let's see. All right? So, and then reminders, I already gave you some of the reminders about the conference, about going. Your evaluations were due today, self-evaluation. Please be reminded, that is your feedback. Listen, everybody, that was your feedback. Your self-evaluation telling me, this is like some of the things I've done, so forth and so on. Some of you went ahead and shared with your principal, which is, okay, but your principal, I had told them, you can give me feedback on the ones that you feel they're making an impact. So they gave me their feedback. And then we're going to be looking at your track record as far as your submitting reports and being on time and all of these projects this year and events, all of those things count, okay, in this project. It's all about that literacy, communication, working as a literacy line, all of that. So, I will be the one to finish off your evaluation, is what I was trying to tell you. Some of you sent it already signed and everything. Okay, I just want to let you know. If you look at the evaluation, where it says per person, evaluator, or reports to, it's me. So I'm the one who needs to turn that into HR. So we're gonna start conferences April 27th. Evaluation conferences, and we will be calling you to set up those conferences because there are some of you that are gonna need that time to address some areas of concern. You're gonna need the time in May and then in June to address some areas of concern. Okay? So, I'm just giving you a heads up on what's coming up. And then the next one, campus visitation schedule. I mean, Oneida and Melissa have really come back raving as to what they're seeing, which is great. We want that, awesome. And yes, be very open. This is us looking at our grant. We're in there with you. If something's not right, we want to tell you, hey, this needs to be tweaked. Hey, let's address this. We're a team, we're telling you, okay? So we've been notified again by the U.S. Department of Ed, those are the feds out of Washington again. They're coming back. They came, remember? And they interviewed people here at the main office. Well, they're coming back in May, around the second week in May. They're coming back, and now they want to go out to the sites. Okay? So we're going to be setting that up, the site visits. And listen to this, they do not want to speak to a person that's in the CBO team. They want to speak to teachers that are not in the CBO team. Because they want to know, have teachers really been trained? Are they implementing? You know? They want to speak to the administrators that are not in the grant implementation team here at the district level. So they're going to speak to other administrators. So other administrators, other teachers, they're going to go do site visits. They want to spend at least an hour and a half at each site, at least. They want to see implementation of the routines and strategies. Okay? So that's going to be organized. Oneida already has a chart. I'll be meeting with the literacy line leaders. They'll be giving you some information, and then we're going to be collecting. So if I was you, I would really look at my exemplar classrooms. You know, those classrooms, all of you have at least 2 identified. Secondaries, you have an ELA one and a content area one. Elementaries, you have a lower grade and an upper grade. Okay. So So that's just something. So this activity of the binders and all that, they're gonna wanna see that at your campus too. Because they saw it over here when they came to the main office. So more details about that, but I already went